Hello everyone. Welcome. We're gonna start reading Bhagavad Gita starting today. I've always wanted to read the book, but it's never too late. I'm 21 years old. My name is Prajwal Nepal from Nepal, and I'll be doing this in English because it's a bigger audience. But this is not gonna be. It's not a like an audio book because this is literally just me documenting me going through Bhagavad Gita for the first time. I have some background knowledge, so that will help. But yeah, I'll probably stumble here and there. I'll probably try to make sense of it all. Pause for a little bit, figure out what's going on, what the meaning of the text is, and yeah, just let's get started. So Srimad Bhagavat Gita, right? Turn the page. Look how cool that is. Yeah, you see that? Okay. So this one has Sanskrit, Hindi, and English. Introduction. Try to make this bigger. I'll try to do one page only. That'll probably, yeah, we're gonna stick with this so it's bigger so you can see. Even though the other one looks cooler, I won't lie. So introduction. Tumeva mata cha pita tumeva bandhuscha sakha tumeva vidya damidam tumeva sarva mama deva deva. So that says, thou art mother, thou art father, thou art Krishna, kinsman, thou art friend, thou art knowledge, thou art wealth, thou art my all, O Lord of lords. So it's kind of like, hi everyone. Kind of like that. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is just not a holy book. It has also gained a prominent place in literature of the world. It contains divine words emanating from the lips of Lord Krishna. This great epic is an eloquent proof of the observation. As a scripture, this book embodies the supreme spiritual mysteries and secrets. Its style is so simple and elegant that with a little study one can easily follow the structure of its word. Yet the thoughts behind those words are so deep and abstract that even for a lifetime, constant study of this book may not show an end of it. The Bhagavad Gita is an unfathomable ocean of wisdom. It is a bottomless sea containing endless strait of meanings. Just as a diver diving deep in the sea lays his hand on precious gems, similarly, diving deeper and deeper into secrets of this book, the seeker goes on discovering more and more piles of extraordinary gems, thoughts, and ideas. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of the Mahabharata, but even then it has its own identity, which has made it more prominent than the Mahabharata. It may look to be just a narration of happenings of the war between Kauravas and Pandavas, but it is a philosophy of life expressed from the lips of Lord Krishna, addressed to the warrior Arjun, defining following ideas. Facing your enemies in a war is an auspicious and special duty. The Lord alone is to be worshipped, and that only by doing one's own duties, any other worship or duty should be abandoned. Devotion to the Lord is the mean to which all the rest is subservient. The Lord is far different from the whole world, and everything is under his control. He is the supreme being, perfect in every excellence. The human being is obliged to perform his duties without hoping for the fruits which he may get out of his performance. Srimad Bhagavad Gita has been translated into several languages, and even translation has been reviewed and commented in different ways, but this edition of Bhagavad Gita has its own distinction. It contains the original Sanskrit text, slok by slok, which its translation into Hindi as also in English. We hope that this edition will enlighten not only those readers who read it from religious viewpoint, but also those who want to study this great literary work. It has been brought out in comparatively bolder type so that it can be easily read by readers of all ages. Oh wow, this was published in 1993. Birthday of Lord Krishna, August 11. Okay. श्रीमद् भागवत गीता संस्कृत हिंदी एवं अंग्रेजी प्रथमोध्याय. Okay. So is there English of this? Yeah. So I'll skip Hindi and Sanskrit and Hindi. This is because I'm just trying to understand it. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to read every single language. Sanskrit is considered as like a holy language, right? But as someone who's trying to actually understand it, I feel like because I've tried to read Gita before, and I gave up because every time I would read Sanskrit, I would read the English, and then I would go back to Sanskrit, and I'd forget what came before, because like the Sanskrit is not natural for me and most people in the world today. So, and I chose this one because this one has Hindi also. So if sometimes the English doesn't make sense, I can go to Hindi because I understand Hindi. I don't understand Sanskrit. So at least I have at least two languages that I can reference between and get the full meaning behind what it's trying to say. So I guess they condensed all of that down to this bit. This is the Prathamodhyaya, is like preface or the first chapter. When all efforts of preventing the war between Kauravas and Pandavas failed, and subsequently both sides had thoroughly prepared to start the battle in Kurukshetra, the sage Vedavyasa asked Dhritarashtra, the king of the father of Duryodhana, if he would like to see the terrible carnage so that he could make a gift of transcendent vision, as King Dhritarashtra was visually handicapped otherwise. Dhritarashtra replied, O Maharishi, I have no desire to see with my own eyes the slaughter of my own family, but would like to hear all the events of the battle. Thereupon Vedavyasa conferred the gift of divine vision of Sanjaya, a trusty counselor of Dhritarashtra, and told that Sanjaya would describe all the happenings of the war even while sitting with King Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra is blind, and his sons are going into war. His own sons and his not sure, I think his sister's son, right? And they're going into war, and he's blind, so even if he goes to the battlefield, he can't see what's happening. So he's asked, do you want to see it? And then Vedavyasa gifted. He didn't want to see for himself in case his sons died. So the power was given to Sanjay, who was Sanjay can now see and describe it to Dhritarashtra from the palace they're sitting at. So it starts off. Dhritarashtra said, Sanjay, gathered on the sacred soil of Kurukshetra, eager to fight, what did my children and the children of Pandu do? Sanjay said, at that time, seeing the army of the Pandavas drawn up for battle and approaching Dronacharya, King Duryodhana spoke these words. So, battle of Dronacharya. So the Pandavas have come into battle, and Duryodhana said this, is what Sanjay is saying. And Duryodhana said, behold, master, the mighty army of the sons of Pandu arrayed for battle by your talented pupil, Drishtadhumna, son of Draupada. So, हे आचार्य, आपके बुद्धिमान शिष्य द्रुपद पुत्र धृष्टधुम्न द्वारा व्यूहाकार खड़ी की दुई पांडु पुत्रों की खड़ी हुई व्यूहाकार खड़ी की दुई पांडु पुत्रों की इस बड़ी भारी सेना को देखिए. It's like, hey, look at them. And then there are in this army heroes wielding mighty bows and equal in military prowess to Bhim and Arjun, Satyaki and Virat. Satyaki and Virat. Let me read the Hindi first. इस सेना में बड़े बड़े धनुषों वाले तथा युद्ध में भीम और अर्जुन के समान सूरवीर, सत्य की ओर विराट तथा महारथी राजा. I don't know how to say that. I've never seen it written like that. द्रुपद, धृष्टकेतु और चेकितान तथा. Okay, so he's just saying comparative to Bhim and Arjun, Bhim is super strong and Arjun is excellent. He's the best in the world in bows and arrows. Excellent warrior. He's saying we have equal military prowess to these two, and then he's listing all these guys. It's kind of funny that he has to list so many people to compare to them. Satyaki, I think that's what it means. And Satyaki and Virat and the Maharati warrior chief Drupada, Drustaketu, Chekitana. Where is it? Chekitan, Tatha Balwan, Chekitan, and the valiant king of Kasi, and the Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and the Saivya, and the best of men and mighty, Yadhamanyu, and valiant Uttamuja, Avimanyu, and the son of Subhrada, and 5 sons of Draupadi, all of them Maharathis, warrior chiefs. Okay, maybe not. These are all the guys in the Pandav side, because Draupadi's son would be on the other side, right? Hold on, that's what I meant by. It's not an audiobook. I'm trying to figure this out by myself. So इस समय में बड़े बड़े धनुषों वाले तथा युद्ध में भीम और अर्जुन के समान सूरवीर, सत्यकी और विराट तथा महारथी राजा द्रुपद, धृष्टकेतु और चेकितान तथा बलवान काशीराज, पुरुजित, कुंती भोज और मनुष्यों में श्रेष्ठ शौर्य पराक्रमी युद्धामन्यु तथा बलवान उत्तमौजा सुभद्रा पुत्र अभिमन्यु और द्रौपदी के पांचों पुत्र ये सभी महारथी हैं. Okay, yeah, so he's listing out who has come. And then he goes, oh, best of, and then all of those guys are on the other side. He's not comparing Bhim and Arjun to all of his guys. He's saying Bhim and Arjun, they're so great, and compared it equal to their military prowess. There's all these guys standing beside them. O best of Brahmins, know them also who are the principal warriors on our side, the generals of my army. For your information, I mention them below. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And he's saying, you should know who I have as well, right? And then yourself and Bhisma and Karna and Kripa, who is ever victorious in battle and ever so Asvathama, Vikarna, and Burisrava, the son of Somadatta. Bhisma, Karna, Kripa. So yourself, he's talking to I think he's talking to someone. I think it's mentioned up here, but I don't know. Best of Brahma, mention them below, and then and there are many other heroes equipped with various weapons and missiles who have staked their lives for me, all skilled in warfare. So he's listing his guys. This army of ours, fully protected by Bhisma, is unconquerable, while that army of theirs, guarded in every way by Bhim, is easy to conquer. Pretty straightforward. Therefore, stationed in your respective positions on all fronts, you all guard Bhisma in particular on all sides. So he's saying you guys are guarding Bhisma. Bhisma is one of the old teachers that taught a lot of these guys warfare, basically. The grand old man of the Kaurava race, their glorious grand uncle Bhisma, cheering up Duryodhana, roared terribly like a lion and blew his conch. Yep, as I said, the grand old man, right? Grand uncle Bhisma. So he blows the what is it called? Sankha. He blows the sankha, or in English, conch. I don't know, it's called conch. Sankha bajaya. In Hindi is so different. Like, it's the same thing, but it sounds so different. Then conches, kettle drums, tabor's drums, and trumpets suddenly blared forth, and the noise was tumultuous. Everybody, they start banging the drums and the start of war. Then, seated in a glorious chariot drawn by a white horse, Sri Krishna as well as Arjun blew their celestial conches. They're all blowing their sankha. Conches is it's basically a shell. If you don't know what a conch is, like a seashell. Sri Krishna blew his conch named let me say that correct. Krishna Maharaj name Panchajanya. Arjun his own called. श्री कृष्ण महाराज ने पंचजन्य नामक, अर्जुन ने देवदत्त नामक और भयानक कर्म वाले भीमसेना सेन ने पौंड्र नामक महाशंख बजाया. Sri Krishna blew his own conch named Panchajanya. Arjun his own called Devadatta, while Bhim of terrible deeds blew his mighty conch. Poundra. King Yudhishthir, son of Kunti, blew his conch. Man, I don't know how you read this without knowing Hindi or Sanskrit. Kunti Putra Raja Yudhishthir ne Ananta Vijay namak. Ananta Vijay. His conch is Ananta Vijay, which King Yudhishthir, son of Kunti, blew, while Nakul and Sahadev blew theirs, known as Sughos, Mani Puspak, respectively. And the excellent archer, the king of Kasi, and the Sikhandi, the Maharathi, great car warrior, the Rishtadumnya and the Virata. So it's saying, श्रेष्ठ धनुष वाले कसी राज और महारथी शिखंडी. Oh, Sikhandi. See how different that is? Sikhandi. Sikhandi. I don't know. Sikhandi the Maharathi, the great warrior. Sikhandi एवं धृष्टधुम्न तथा राजा विराट और अजेय सत्य की राजा द्रुपद एवं द्रौपदी के पांचों पुत्र और द्रौपदी और बड़ी भुजा वाले सुभद्रा पुत्र अभिमन्यु, इन सभी ने हे राजन सब और से अलग अलग शंख बजाया. See, I don't want to say Hindi like 100% of the time. I gotta go super slow. So in English, and the excellent archer, the king of Kasi, and Sikhandi, the Maharathi, great warrior, Drishtadumna. Where'd he go? Drishtadumna and Virata, and the invincible Satyaki, Drupada, as well as the 5 sons of Draupadi, and the mighty armed Abhimanyu, son of Subhadra, all of them, O Lord of the earth, severely blew their respective conches from all sides. It sounds amazing. Like, I can hear it. And the terrible sound, echoing through heaven and earth, rent the hearts of Dhritarashtra's sons. Again, Dhritarashtra is the father of the, in context, they're the bad side of the war, right? The father who is listening from Sanjay. Now, O Lord of the earth, seeing your sons arrayed against him, and when missiles were ready to be hurled, Arjun, son of Pandu, took up his bow and then addressed the following words to Sri Krishna. Krishna, place my chariot between the 2 armies. Okay, that's what Arjun said to Krishna. And keep it there till I have carefully observed these warriors drawn up for battle, and have seen with whom I have to engage in this fight. I shall scan the well-wishers in this war of evil-minded Duryodhan, whoever have assembled on this side and are ready for the fight. So his battle is with Duryodhan, but Duryodhan has basically got everyone on his side that Arjun respects and doesn't want to kill. So he's like, let me see who everybody's here. Sanjay said, O king, thus addressed by Arjun, Sri Krishna placed the magnificent chariot between the 2 armies in front of him, Bhisma, Drona, and all the kings, and said, Arjun, behold these Kauravas assembled here. So they're in front of Bhisma, Drona, and all the kings. So Bhisma and Drona, they're like old, great old guys that taught everyone. Now Arjun saw stationed there in both the armies his uncles, granduncles, and teachers, and even great-granduncles, maternal uncles, brothers and cousins, sons and nephews and grandnephews, even so friends, father-in-law, and well-wishers as well. Seeing all those relations present there, Arjun was filled with deep compassion and uttered these words in sadness. Second half of 27 and first half of 28. Seeing all these relations there, Arjun was filled with deep compassion and uttered these words in sadness. Arjun said, Krishna, at the sight of these kinsmen arrayed for battle, my limbs give way, and my mouth is parching. Nay, a shiver runs through my body, and hair stand upright. The bow Gandiva slips from my hand. Gandiv. The bow Gandiv slips from my hand, and my skin too burns all over. My brain is whirling as it were, and I can stand no longer. And Kesava, I see such omens of evil, nor do I see any good in killing my kinsmen in battle. Krishna, I do not covet victory, nor kingdom, nor pleasures. Govinda, of what use will kingdom or luxuries or even life be to us? Those very persons for whose sake we covet the throne, luxuries and pleasures, teachers, uncles, sons and nephews, and even so granduncles and great-granduncles, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandnephews, brother-in-law, and other relations are here arrayed on the battlefield, risking their lives and wealth. O slayer of Madhu, I do not want to kill them, though they should slay me. even for the throne of the three worlds, how much the less from earthly lordship? Krishna, how can we hope to be happy slaying the sons of Dhritarashtra? Killing these desperados sin will surely take hold of us. Okay, so far it's really understandable. Therefore, Krishna, it does not behove to us to kill our relations, the sons of Dhritarashtra, for how can we be happy after killing our own kinsmen? Even if these people with minds blinded by greed perceive no evil in destroying their own race and no sin and treason to friends, even in these people with minds blinded by greed perceive no evil in destroying their own race and no sin and treason to friends, why should not we, O Krishna, who see clearly the sin occurring from the destruction of one's family, think of turning away from this crime? Age-long family tradition disappear with the destruction of a family, and virtue having been lost, vice takes hold of the entire race. With the preponderance of vice, Krishna, the women of the family become corrupt, and with the corruption of whom, O descendant of Varsni, there ensues an intermixture of caste. हे कृष्ण, पाप के अधिक बढ़ जाने से कुल की स्त्रियां अत्यंत दूषित हो जाती है, और हे वार्ष्णेय, स्त्रियों के दूषित हो जाने पर वर्ण संकर उत्पन्न होता है. We're at 27 minutes on it. Admixture of blood damns the destroyers of the race as well as the race itself. Deprived of the offerings of rice and water, Shraddha, Tarpana, etc., the manes of their race also fall. Admixture of blood damns the destroyer of the race as well as the race itself. So he's saying, वर्ण संकर कुलधातियों के और कुल के नरक में ले जाने के लिए ही होता है. लुप्त दुई पिंड और जल की क्रिया वाले अर्थात श्रद्ध और तपण से वंचित इनके पितर लोग भी अधोगति के प्राप्त होते हैं. Okay, I thought having Hindi would help a little bit, but I mean, I have to read this like 5 times to understand it. It is there. Admixture of blood damns the destroyers of the race as well as the race itself. It damns the destroyers of the race as well as the race itself. Deprived of the offerings of rice and water, Shraddha, Tarpana, etc., the manes of the race also fall. Manes of the race also fall. Okay, I think I kind of get what it's saying. Through these evils bringing about an intermixture of caste, the age-long caste traditions and family customs of the killers of kinsmen get extinct. Right? Krishna, we hear that men who have lost their family traditions dwell in hell for an indefinite period of time. Oh, what a pity! Though possessed of intelligence, we have set our mind on the commission of a great sin, in that due to lust for throne and enjoyment we are intent on killing own kinsmen. I'm going to read that again. Oh, what a pity! Though possessed of intelligence, we have set our mind on the commission of a great sin, in that due to lust for throne and enjoyment we are intent on killing own kinsmen. That makes sense. What a pity. Even though we have all these intelligence, we have set our mind on killing our own people because we want the throne and and enjoyment for some reason by killing our own kinsmen. It would be better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, armed with weapons, killed me in battle while I was unarmed and unresisting. Sanjay said, Arjun, whose mind was agitated by grief on the battlefield, having spoken thus and having thrown aside his bow and arrows, sank into the hinder part of his chariot. Sanjay said, Sri Krishna then addressed the following verse to Arjun, who was, as mentioned before, overwhelmed with pity, whose eyes were filled with tears and agitated, and who was full of sorrow. Sanjay said, Sri Krishna then addressed the following verse to Arjun, who was, as mentioned before, overwhelmed with pity, whose eyes were filled with tears and agitated, and who was full of sorrow. Sri Bhagavan said, Arjun, how has this infatuation overtaken you at this odd hour? It is shunned by noble souls. Neither will it bring heaven nor fame to you. Sri Krishna said, Arjun, how has this infatuation overtaken you at this odd hour? Probably like, why didn't you think about this before getting here, dude? It is shunned by noble souls. Neither will it bring heaven nor fame to you. So you doing this is shunned by noble souls. Right? श्री भगवान बोले, हे अर्जुन, तुझे इस असमय में यह मोह किस हेतु से प्राप्त हुआ? क्योंकि ना तो यह श्रेष्ठ पुरुषों द्वारा आचरित है, न स्वर्ग के देने वाला है, न स्वर्ग को देने वाला है, और न कीर्ति को करने वाला ही है. Yield not to unmanliness, Arjun, yet does it become you. Ill does it become you. Shaking off this paltry faint-heartedness, stand up, O scorcher of enemies. You're being a little bee, you know. Stand up and face your enemies, you say. Arjun said, how, Krishna? Shall I fight Bhishma and Drona with arrows on the battlefield? They are worthy of deepest reverence, O destroyer of foes. Yeah, these are his great uncles and teachers. How can he fight them? It is better to live on alms in this world without slaying those noble elders, because even after killing them, we shall after all enjoy only blood-stained pleasures in the form of wealth and sense enjoyments. It is better to live on alms in this world without slaying these noble elders, because even after killing them, we shall after all enjoy only blood-stained pleasures in the form of wealth and sense enjoyments. We do not even know which is preferable for us, to fight or not to fight. Nor do we know whether we shall win or whether they will conquer us. Those very sons of Dhritarashtra, killing whom we do not even wish to live, stand in the enemy ranks. We don't even know which is preferable for us to fight or not to fight. Nor do we know whether we shall win or whether they will conquer us. Those very sons of Dhritarashtra, killing whom we do not even wish to live, stand in the enemy ranks. With my very being tainted by the vice of faint-heartedness, and my mind puzzled with regard to duty, I'm asking you, tell me that which is decidedly good. I am your disciple. Pray instruct me, who have put myself into your hands. For even on obtaining undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on this earth and lordship over the gods, I do not see any means that can drive away the grief which is drying up my senses. For even on obtaining undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on this earth and lordship over the gods, I do not see any means that can drive away the grief which is drying up my senses. For even on obtaining undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom, the lordship of the gods. Okay. It's saying, even if I obtain, all the land, all the sovereignty, all the kingdom, and blessings of support of the gods, I do not see any means that can drive away the grief which is drying up my senses. That means I don't see any after I do all this, I don't see how I'll be able to live with myself. Is that what it's saying? क्योंकि भूमि में निष्कंटक धन्य संपन्न, क्योंकि भूमि में निष्किंतक धान्य संपन्न राज्य को और देवताओं के स्वामीपने को प्राप्त होकर भी मैं उस उपाय को नहीं देखता हूँ जो मेरी इंद्रियों के सुखाने वाले शोक के दूर कर सके। उपाय को नहीं देख सकता हूँ जो मैं इंद्रियों के सुखाने वाले शोक को दूर कर सके। It's like, I don't see any means that I can live with the grief that will also dry up my senses, so he can not think about it and kill them. Sanjay said, O king, having thus spoken to Sri Krishna, Arjuna again said to him, I will not fight, and became silent. Then, O Dhritarashtra, Sri Krishna, as if smiling, addressed the following words to sorrowing Arjuna in the midst of the two armies. Sri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you grieve over those who should not be grieved for, and yet speak like the learned. Wise men do not sorrow over the dead or the living. So he's saying, you're grieving over those who should not be grieved for, and yet speak like the learned. Okay, you're doing what you're not supposed to do, which is grieving for people who should not be grieved for. And he's saying, wise men do not sorrow over the dead or the living. Like wise men do not sorrow over the dead or the living. I wonder what they sorrow for. In fact, there was never a time when I was not, or when you were, or when you or these kings were not, nor is it a fact that hereafter we shall all cease to be. So, there was never a time when, he's talking about their souls. Oh, sorry. I think he's talking about their souls, right? Nor is it a fact that hereafter we shall all cease to be. Nor is it a fact that that hereafter we shall all cease to be. So there was never a time when I was not, or you were, or these kings were not. So we were always, not our bodies, but our souls were always here. And nor is it a fact that hereafter we shall all cease to be. And even after we're gone, our bodies are gone, we'll still be here, our souls will will not ever cease to exist. Just as boyhood, youth, and old age are attributed to the soul through this body, even so it attains another body. The wise man does not get deluded about this. Just as boyhood, youth, and old age are attributed to the soul through this body, even so it attains another body. The wise man does not get deluded by this. You don't, stop and get freaked out about that. O son of Kunti, the contacts between the senses and their objects, which give rise to the feeling of hot and cold, pleasure and pain, etc., are transitory, and fleeting. Therefore, Arjun, ignore them. Okay, what is he saying here? O son of Kunti, the contacts between the senses and their objects, which give rise to the feeling of heat and cold, pleasure and pain, etc., are transitory and fleeting. Therefore, Arjun, ignore them. Oh, shoot. He's saying, like everything we feel, pleasure and pain, hot or cold, right? They're all transitory and fleeting. Basically, they exist for a while and they'll go away. Therefore, Arjun, ignore them. I'm going to read this in English, Hindi. He Kunti Putra, सर्दी गर्मी और सुख दुख को देने वाले इंद्रियों और विषयों के संयोग तो उत्पत्ति विनाशशील और अनित्य है, इसलिए हे भारत उनको तू सहन कर। हे कुंती पुत्र, सर्दी गर्मी और सुख दुख को देने वाले इंद्रियों और विषयों के संयोग तो उत्पत्ति विनाशशील और अनित्य है। They come and go, इसलिए हे भारत उनको तू सहन कर और ignore them. Sahan is like tolerated, but here they translate it to ignore them. Arjun, the wise man to whom pain and pleasure are alike and who is not tormented by these contacts become eligible for immortality. Arjun, the wise man to whom pain and pleasure are alike and who is not tormented by these contacts become eligible for immortality. So only the wise man for whom pain and pleasure are alike and who is not tormented by these contacts become eligible for immortality. So if you want immortality, you gotta let go of being you have to be not tormented by pain, pleasure, hot, cold, like all these, basically like our senses, right, that we feel. The unreal has no existence and the real never ceases to be. The reality of both has thus been perceived by the seers of truth. The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases to be. The unreal doesn't exist. The unreal doesn't exist, and the real will always exist. The reality of both has thus been perceived by the seers of truth. असत वस्तु की तो सत्ता नहीं है और सत का अभाव नहीं है। इस प्रकार इन दोनों को ही तत्वज्ञानी पुरुषों द्वारा देखा गया है। तो यानी पुरुष के द्वारा देखा गया है। So both of that you have to see, you have to perceive as you have the seers of truth. I kind of not sure, but I kind of get the vibe, kind of get the idea, right? The unreal has no existence, right? It has never, something that doesn't exist never has existed, and something that is real will always exist and has always existed. And this reality of both of those two things has been seen by Tattvagyani, the seers of truth. Right? Okay. Know that alone to be imperishable, which pervades this universe, for no one has power to destroy this indestructible substance. Know that alone to be imperishable, which pervades this universe, for no one has power to destroy this indestructible substance. Okay. नाश रही तो तू उसको जान, जिससे यह संपूर्ण जगत दृश्य वर्ग व्याप्त है. इस अविनाशी का विनाश करने में कोई भी समर्थ नहीं है. So there is no, from Hindi I understood that there's no point in trying to destroy something that's indestructible, right? नाश रही तो तू उसको जान, जिससे यह संपूर्ण जगत दृश्य वर्ग व्याप्त है. नाश रही तो तू उसको जान, जिससे यह संपूर्ण जगत दृश्य वर्ग व्याप्त है. Know that alone to be imperishable, which pervades this universe, for no one has power to destroy this I don't know why I can't say that word, substance. Okay, so see, he's saying, I think he's trying to say, like, in terms of the soul, like, you can't destroy the soul, and there's no point in trying to destroy the soul, because it'll, as you said before, it will always be here. Like, there's something that it will never cease to be, right? All these bodies pertaining to the imperishable, indefinable, and eternal soul are spoken of as perishable. Therefore, Arjun, fight. Okay. All these bodies pertaining to the imperishable, indefinable, and eternal soul are spoken of as perishable. Therefore, Arjun, fight. इस नाश रहित अप्रमेय नित्य स्वरूप जीवात्मा के सब शरीर नाशवान कहे गए हैं. इसलिए है भारत वंशी अर्जुन तू युद्ध कर. Okay, I have a Bhagavad Gita, and this is in Nepali. So we're at 18. 18. So we'll do the first chapter. I'm not sure how far I'm into it, but should be that. We got about 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. That is not the same. Gita जसको गीता बुद्धि लागि पर्दैन त्यसका सम्पूर्ण कुरा. Probably skipped. We'll go back a little bit. कसरी 18 तर यो मिल्दैन रहेछ. So I think they like skipped a bunch. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, that didn't help. I'm gonna have to. I'll look at this offline, and because this one's being way more detail. This looks like it. Too bad I can't control F. But I'll find where we at so I could read it in Nepali as well and then understand it. This is the what's it called, the benefit of being a polyglot. No, trilygot. I can speak 30 languages. I wish I could speak Sanskrit as well, but too bad, too bad. All these bodies pertaining to the imperishable, indefinable, and eternal soul are spoken of as perishable. Therefore, Arjun, fight. So he's saying, so all these bodies are pertaining to the imperishable. Imperishable is something that doesn't perish. Indefinable, something you can't define. Eternal soul are spoken of as perishable. So all these bodies pertaining, so they're actually imperishable, they're indefinable, and they're eternal, but they're spoken of as perishable, right? Therefore, you should fight. Which doesn't really answer the whole thing. They're both ignorant. He who knows the soul to be capable to killing, and he who takes it as killed. For verily the soul neither kills nor is killed. So it's saying they're both ignorant. He who knows the soul to be capable of killing, and he who takes it as killed. For verily the soul neither kills nor is killed. So you can't, the soul cannot kill, and it cannot be killed. And if you think that both that happens, then you're ignorant, right? And the soul is never born nor dies, nor does it become only after being born. For it is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and ancient. Even though the body is slain, the soul is not. The soul is never born, nor dies, nor does it become only after being born. For it is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and ancient. Even though the body is slain, the soul is not. So your soul has been here forever, and it'll be here forever. Arjun, the man who knows this soul to be imperishable, eternal, and free from birth and decay, how and whom will he cause to be killed? How and whom will he kill? Arjun, the man who knows this soul to be imperishable, eternal, and free from birth and decay, how and whom will he cause to be killed? How and whom will he kill? Arjun, the man who knows this soul. So if you know that your soul is imperishable, that'll exist forever, eternal, and free from birth, because being born in a physical body doesn't define a soul. So how and whom will he cause to be killed? So how are you gonna say, oh, someone's killing me? Or how are you gonna say I'm killing someone? Because the soul will be there. As a man shedding worn out garments takes other new ones, likewise the embodied soul, casting off worn out bodies, enters into others which are new. As a man shedding worn out garments, that makes very good. What's it called? Synology, synonymy. I don't know. As a man shedding out worn out garments, just like how you change your dirty clothes and put on new ones. Likewise, the embodied soul, casting off worn-out bodies, enters into others which are new. Weapons cannot cut it, nor can fire burn it. Water cannot wet it, nor can wind dry it. For the soul is incapable of being cut. It is proof against fire, impervious to water, and undryable as well. This soul is eternal, omnipresent, immovable, constant, and everlasting. Wow. Soul is incapable of being cut. It is proof against fire, impervious to water, and undryable as well. This soul is eternal, omnipresent, immovable, constant, and everlasting. This soul is unmanifest. It is unthinkable, and it is spoken of as immutable. Therefore, knowing this as such, you should not grieve. This soul is unmanifest, it is unthinkable, and it is spoken of as immutable. Therefore, knowing this as such, you should not grieve. I'm reading it twice because it goes in the head much better. यह आत्मा अव्यक्त है, यह आत्मा अचिंत्य है, और यह आत्मा विकार रहित कहा जाता है, विकार रहित कहा जाता है. इससे है अर्जुन, इस आत्मा को अपयुक्त प्रकार से जानकर तू शोक करने के योग्य नहीं है. अर्थात तुझे शोक करना उचित नहीं है. Soul is unmanifest, it is unthinkable, spoken of as immutable. Okay. And Arjun, if you should suppose this soul to be subject to constant birth and death, even then you should not grieve like this. And Arjun, if you should suppose this soul to be subject to constant birth and death, so soul is gonna die and have birth and death and birth and death and birth and death and birth and death. So like, if that's what soul does, right? So you shouldn't grieve about what it's trying to do. For in that case, death is certain for the born, and rebirth is inevitable for the dead. You should not, therefore, grieve over the inevitable. Yeah, that's what I said, right? For that, in that case, death is certain for the born, and rebirth is inevitable for the dead. You should not, therefore, grieve over the inevitable. So if you're born, death is certain. It's something that's certain, that's inevitable. Why should you grieve? Arjun, before birth, beings are not manifest to our human senses. At death, they return to the unmanifest again. They are manifest only in the interval between birth and death. What occasion, then, for lamentation? हे अर्जुन, संपूर्ण प्राणी जन्म से पहले अप्रकट थे और मरने के बाद भी अप्रकट हो जाने वाले हैं, केवल बीच में प्रकट हैं. फिर ऐसी स्थिति में क्या शोक करना है? Aprakat is like not manifest. Arjun, before birth, beings are not manifest to our human senses. At death, they return to the unmanifest again. They are manifest only in the interval between birth and death. What occasion then for lamentation? So why grieving? Okay. Hardly anyone perceives this soul as marvelous. Scarce another likewise speaks, therefore, as marvelous, and scarce another hears of it as marvelous, while there are some who know it not, even on hearing of it. I have to read that again. Hardly anyone perceives this soul as marvelous. Scarce another likewise speaks thereof as marvelous, and scarce another hears of it as marvelous. Oh, it is scarce that someone Hardly anyone perceives the soul as marvelous, right? And then it is also scarce that another person like that speaks therefore thereof as marvelous. It's like repeating. And scarce another hears of it as marvelous. So they don't perceive it as marvelous, they don't talk about it as marvelous, and no one hears about it as marvelous. While there are some who know it not even on hearing of it. So there are some, even if you tell them, they won't know. Okay. Arjun, this soul dwelling in the bodies of all can never be slain. Therefore you should not mourn for anyone. Arjun, the soul dwelling in the bodies of all can never be slain. Therefore you should not mourn for anyone. हे अर्जुन, यह आत्मा सबके शरीरों में सदा ही अवध्य है, इस कारण संपूर्ण प्राणियों के लिए तू शोक करने को योग्य नहीं है. The soul in the bodies can never be slain. It can never be killed, basically. Therefore, you should not mourn for anyone. Besides, considering your own duty too, you should not waver, for there is nothing more welcome for a man of the warrior class than a righteous war. Besides, considering your own duty too, you should not waver, for there is nothing more welcome for a man of the warrior class than a righteous war. So it's saying, if you're of the warrior class, then you shouldn't waver, because it's like your duty to fight. Arjun, happy are the custodians. क्या चाहिए? हे पार्थ, अपने आप प्राप्त हुए और खुले हुए स्वर्ग के द्वार रूप इस प्रकार के युद्ध को भाग्यवान क्षत्रिय लोग ही पाते हैं. Arjun, happy are the casters. Oh, that's his that's his class, caste. Casters who get such an unsolicited opportunity for war, which opens the door to heaven. Now, if you refuse to fight this righteous war, then shrinking your duty and losing your reputation, you will incur sin. So if you refuse to fight, because this is your righteous war, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're running away from your duties, which will incur sin. Pap. Oh, pap, right there. किंतु यदि तू इस धर्म युक्त युद्ध को नहीं करेगा तो स्वधर्म और कीर्ति को खोकर पाप को प्राप्त होगा. Nay, people will also pour undying infamy on you. And infamy brought on a man enjoying popular esteem is worse than death. तथा सब लोग तेरी बहुत काल तक रहने वाली अपकीर्ति का भी कथन करेंगे. तथा सब लोग तेरी बहुत काल तक रहने वाली अपकीर्ति का भी कथन करेंगे, और माननीय पुरुष के लिए अपकीर्ति मरण से भी बढ़कर है. So like if you infamy, apakirti kind of sounds like kirti, kind of sounds like work, and like if you're not doing the work, kind of not good. Nay, people also pour undying infamy on you, and infamy brought on a man enjoying popular esteem is worse than death. और जिनकी दृष्टि में तू पहले बहुत what am I reading Hindi? And the warrior chiefs who thought highly of you will now despise you. thinking that it was fear which drove you from battle. Yeah, they'll think that you're not kind, you're not doing some great thing from running away from battle, because Arjun can run away, but everybody else is gonna fight, and surely they'll lose without him. And your enemies, despairingly your might, will speak many unbecoming words. What can be more distressing than this? Die and you will win heaven. Conquer and you enjoy sovereignty of the earth. Therefore stand up, Arjun, determined to fight. या तो तू युद्ध में मरा जाकर स्वर्ग को प्राप्त होगा, अथवा संग्राम में जीतकर पृथ्वी का राज्य भोगेगा. इस कारण हे अर्जुन, तू युद्ध के लिए निश्चय करके खड़ा हो जा. It's like, if he dies, he goes to heaven. If he wins, he gets to enjoy earth. Also heaven? Question mark. Treating alike victory and defeat, gain and loss, pleasure and pain. Get ready for the fight then. Fighting thus you will not incur sin. Treating alike victory and defeat, gain and loss, pleasure and pain. Get ready for the fight then. Fighting thus you will not incur sin. Treating alike victory and defeat. Sorry, it's nighttime right now, so you can't tell from the lighting. Treating alike victory and defeat, gain and loss, pleasure and pain. You get ready for the fight then. Fighting thus, you will not incur sin. So treat victory and defeat, gain and loss, pleasure and pain. Treat all them the same, and get ready for the fight. Fighting thus, you will not incur sin. Okay? Arjun, this attitude of mind has been presented to you from the point of view of Jnana Yoga. Now here the same is presented from the standpoint of Karma Yoga, the yoga of selfless action. Equipped with this attitude of mind, you will be able to throw off completely the shackles of karma. Arjun, this attitude of mind has been presented to you from the point of view of Jnana Yoga. So whatever he said is from the point of view of Jnana Yoga. Now he's gonna is the same as presented from the standpoint of Karma Yoga, the yoga of selfless action. Equipped with this attitude of mind, you will be able to throw off completely the shackles of karma. Okay. In this path of disinterested action, there is no loss of effort, nor is there fear of contrary result. Even a little practice of this discipline saves one from the terrible fear of birth and death. In this path of disinterested action, there is no loss of effort, nor is there fear of contrary result. Even a little practice of this discipline saves one from the terrible fear of birth and death. There is no loss of effort, and nor is there fear of contrary result. In this path, there is no loss of effort, nor is there fear of contrary result. Why am I not understanding that? Am I too tired? We're on page 60. I'm just gonna see where there is chapters to this, or it keeps going. So we're on shoot. 2 page 2. Okay, so it ends on 78. So okay, we're pretty close. We were on 60. I mean, to be honest, I kind of like this too. this path of disinterested action, there is no loss of effort, nor is there fear of contrary result. Even a little practice of this discipline saves one from the terrible fear of birth and death. Arjun, in this yoga of disinterested action, the intellect is determinate and directed singly towards one ideal, whereas the intellect of the undecided, ignorant man moved by desires wanders in all directions after innumerable aims. Okay, I don't quite, it's not very clear, right? इस कर्म योग में आरंभ का अर्थात बीज का नाश नहीं है और उलाटा फलरूप दोष भी नहीं है, बल्कि इस कर्मयोग रूप धर्म का थोड़ा सा भी साधन जन्म रूप महान भय से रक्षा कर लेता है. This path, there's no loss of effort. Can I highlight this? I'm gonna have to come back to this. Does it let me? Oh, you can read the book aloud. Kind of crazy. I don't think I can. All right. Page 60. Right. It said that Arjun, in this yoga, disinterested action, the intellect is determinate and directed singly towards one ideal, whereas the intellect of the undecided, ignorant man moved by desires wanders in all directions after innumerable aims. Okay, my it's getting harder. It's getting longer, but I'm also getting tired. Even though we have 18 more pages, which isn't that much, but I don't want to just read it. I want to understand everything I'm reading. So we'll pause it for now here. And we're on page 60 of 428. We made really good progress. Just doesn't take that long. But yeah, I'll go ask my dad what this part means, what that part means, and so that I can read it, understand it. Thank you for watching so far. Please continue watching. I'll post more as soon as possible. And yeah, see you next time on the continuation of Bhagavad Gita. And hope you have a good day. Good night.